Hey Stars fans, this is Stars fan Cole here. I want to discuss Dave Filoni's Stars Heir to the Empire movie and what I'm excited for in that movie. So, I'm excited to see how Thrawn returns from the ending of Ahsoka Season 1 to the Mandalorian Grogu movie to Heir of the Empire. I'm excited to see how Thrawn makes it back to the main galaxy and how Thrawn is like this big threat to the galaxy before the event of sequels, and I really like to see like how exactly Thrawn like breaks the New Republic down, and how it affects the galaxy, and and I really like Thrawn to be the villain that gives people like the Mandalorian, Grogu, Bo-Katan, and the Rebellion some struggles, at least some struggles trying to defeat Thrawn, that the only way to defeat Thrawn is for Luke Skywalker to return. I really do believe Luke Skywalker will play a role in Thrawn's defeat. I really do believe Luke Skywalker will play a role inside Thrawn's defeat and how he'll be taken down. Now, how exactly that goes, I'm unsure. The main vision I could think of maybe how Thrawn might be taken down is maybe Mando, Grogu, and the Rebellion tries to take down Thrawn but ultimately fails. And maybe Luke Skywalker hears about Thrawn's return through the main galaxy to Octu, and maybe Luke Skywalker can also sense Thrawn's return and the galaxy being in danger, and maybe Luke Skywalker like gets inside his X-Wing, he races to Thrawn's ship or hiding place, and then Thrawn sees a Starfire ship beacon on his transmitter, and he looks on his transmitter and he recognizes the Starfire, that it is the Starfighter of none other Luke Skywalker, and that could lead Thrawn to being overconfident about his take of destroying rebellion to ultimately very scared when he sees the transmitter on him and he sees that Luke Skywalker's X-Wing is floating in the air, and Luke Skywalker came to his ship or hiding place. That would strike some fear into Thrawn, because I would say that would bring up a little bit of fear into Thrawn in a similar way, to how scared Moff Gideon was when he saw the X-Wing of Luke Skywalker. Moff Gideon almost peed his pants because he was afraid of the return of Luke Skywalker. Once he saw Luke Skywalker's X-Wing and he saw the Jedi on screen, and he recognized that Jedi as Luke Skywalker, Moff Gideon was scared, and he tried to off himself. I could see a similar situation for Thrawn, because after all, Thrawn, because Because after all, Thrawn from the comics is actually a little scared of Darth Vader. And he's also scared of Anakin as a Jedi a little bit in the comics. Therefore, if that's canon in the movie, I could see Thrawn being ultimately afraid of Luke Skywalker because Thrawn was always afraid of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. So if he was super afraid of Anakin Skywalker, imagine his reaction when he sees the son of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, and he sees the son of Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker. That would bring a little bit of fear into Thrawn, because he feared Anakin Skywalker greatly, and that would bring a amount of fear that Thrawn would basically be afraid of facing the legendary Luke Skywalker, especially since Thrawn may think that Luke Skywalker was responsible for the death of Darth Vader and his Emperor, which would definitely make Thrawn very afraid once he sees Luke Skywalker return, because then once he sees Luke Skywalker returns, he pretty much knows his plans are over, and that he's eventually gonna get stopped and have to face the legendary Luke Skywalker, who might have been responsible for his Emperor's fall, for the death of his Emperor, Palpatine. And that will end with a battle between Luke Skywalker and Thrawn. And I really would love to see a fight between Thrawn and Luke Skywalker, because I actually feel like that would be the best part of the movie, would be seeing a battle between Thrawn and Luke, and Luke ultimately winning his battle against Thrawn, and Thrawn flees from the main galaxy, and Thrawn flees from the main galaxy, but not before successfully rising the First Order from his ashes, before he flees the main galaxy, and he may go to X-Skull and say to the Emperor, "I'm sorry, I failed. I was afraid. I had to face Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker stopped me." And then he may say, Palpatine, "I won't fail again as long as you can give me an army that can help me destroy Luke Skywalker." But Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine will actually decline Thrawn's offer, and he will say, And he will say, Thrawn, I decline your offer because you failed me. You failed the Empire, you failed me, and you underestimated Luke Skywalker, just like how you underestimated Ezra Bridger. And that will, and then we could see Snoke appear behind Thrawn, and Palpatine orders Thrawn, and Palpatine orders Snoke to kill Thrawn, and then Snoke pulls out his lightsaber from behind, and he stabs Thrawn from behind with his lightsaber, and then Thrawn dies, and Palpatine Snoke says it's time for the First Order to rise and take down the New Republic. And I believe that will lead into a sequel trilogy where I believe that will lead into a sequel trilogy where the last remnants of the Empire has become the First Order, and Snoke is the First Order's main master, and I believe and I believe that will lead to Princess Leia trying to convince the New Republic that hey, the Force Order's risen, they're becoming a main threat, I need your help to stop them, and we need to work together to stop them, and I ultimately believe that will be a time when the New Republic declines Leia's offer, and they say, Leia, sorry, Leia, sorry, Leia, but ultimately, and says to Leia, sorry, Leia, but we aren't gonna help you defeat the First Order, or help you and the rebellion take down the First Order, because 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 we found out that you are the daughter of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, and we found out that Luke Skywalker is the son of Vader. And we and and we and we and we and we and we don't want to help the daughter and son of Vader. Regardless if he was redeemed in the end, became Anakin Skywalker, we do not involve ourselves with the Skywalker bloodline into helping take down the First Order. I'm sorry, Leia, but like, we haven't really seen the First Order become a big threat, and we have discovered that you are the daughter of Vader and that Luke Skywalker is the son of Vader, and we don't want to involve ourselves in conflict between the Skywalker family and the First Order, as in we don't see the First Order as a threat. Please leave now, Leia. And I believe with that will end. And I believe with that ending, that will end Ben Solo with learning the truth of his mother, that she was the daughter of Luke Skywalker, and that Luke is son of Vader, and that they have hid this true secret from him, and that will that will make Ben Solo feel some conflict, and feel some conflict within him, that the people he trusted for most of his life has hid the truth from him, that he's the grandfather of Darth Vader slash the father of Luke and Leia. And that will spark some tension between Ben Solo and Leia, and possibly Luke, with finding out this truth that they have hid from him for most of his life. you know, and that, and that, and that, and, and, and that will also probably make it easier for Snoke to slowly plant the seeds in Ben Solo's mind that is slowly corrupting him and turning him from the dark side, and Luke can probably see and sense that in his nephew's training. And that will and that will lead into a sequel trilogy where Luke Skywalker says that I went to confront Ben Solo and I sensed darkness. I sensed the blame. I see it in moments during his training. Then I look inside and it's beyond everything I imagine. He will bring destruction, pain, and death at the end of everything I ever loved because of what he's become. And the brief moment pure in fate, I thought I could stop it. Kind of saw like a fleeting shadow, and I was left with pain. Consequence. And the last thing I saw were the eyes of a scared little boy whose master failed him. And I believe, and I believe that will lead to why Luke Skywalker fails Ben Solo in the end. And I believe that will lead into the creation of Ben Solo to Kylo Ren. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts about what I think the heir to the Empire, about Dave's heir to Empire movie might be about, and I can't wait to see the return of Thrawn, and I can't wait to see how Thrawn might be a threat to the galaxy, and I can't wait to see a fight between Thrawn and Luke, and I also can't wait to see I can't really wait to see some more backstory on how the galaxy found out the identity of Luke Skywalker and Leia's parentage, and how that leads, and how finding out that truth affects Ben Solo, and and how that slowly leads to Snoke slowly planting the seeds within Ben Solo that is slowly corrupting him and turn to the dark side, and how and how and how and how and how and 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 I would also be interested to see how to see like to see like to see like to see how exactly Luke Skywalker is seeing Ben Solo slowly turn dark side during some parts of his training that 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 is slowly leading to Luke's failure of Ben Solo and Ben Solo's fall to the dark side before the events of the sequel trilogy. That's something I'm interested in seeing more about. Some more backstory I'm interested in seeing more about. This is Stars Fan Cole here, out.